Hi everybody, this is Sandy B. Stitcher here, and I'm here with a Flosstube update and to show you my whips and a little conversation and just a visit. So today is Thursday, July 30th. It's been really hot in northern Ohio, lots of humidity. I don't like that. So I've pretty much been staying in the house, in the air conditioning, and that helps me to feel a little bit better about the whole thing. In fact, my husband is even complaining about the heat and humidity, and he has never done that. He has always complained about the winter, how he couldn't wait for the hot weather. It's taking a toll on him this summer, so I'm not alone. I hope everybody's doing well. I'd like to welcome you all back, and if you're new, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoy my stitching and the conversation, and I hope you'll come back and visit again. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you will think about pressing that button and subscribing. So first of all, let me get to my stitching and show that to you. And then maybe we could just have a little bit of a chat. So I worked on several projects this time, not just the 2 or 3 that I had been doing. The ones that I had out last time that I showed you, I may have done just a tiny bit more on them, but then I put them away and I thought, you can see those the next time. You pretty much knew what was on them. But I did pull out, well, first let me kind of explain what I'm doing as far as, it's not really a rotation, but how I'm choosing my projects right now. Every day I put at least 150 stitches into Shades of Summer, and using Pattern Keeper for that makes it easy to know exactly, how many stitches I've put in. Then I decided that I wanted to also work on some of my other, what I consider full coverage pieces, but I also need to work on some of the ones that aren't the full coverage. And you probably have already figured out that full coverage is my jam. So I tend to want to keep working on those and not so much on the others. So I made a list of my what I consider full coverage. It may not be every single one, but it covers most of the area. And then I made a list of my oldest ones that are not full coverage, because I have way more whips that are not full coverage than what I do have full coverage. And I put these on my decision roulette. And what I've been doing is I will spin the full coverage one and pull something out to work on for maybe 3 or 4 days of stitching on it. And then I am spinning the wheel and for the others, non-full coverage, and picking one that I will work on for 2 or 3 days during that time. And there's some days where I might work on 3, maybe even 4 different projects. And some days I only work on Shades of Summer and one other. It just depends on how much stitching I get in on those particular days. And then Pandemic, the Long Dog Sampler freebie, I'm just picking that up every so often and just stitching on it and just throwing it in here and there. So let me show you what I've worked on. As a full coverage, I spun the wheel and Village Canal came up. And Village Canal had only just been started. I had only done just a little bit of this roof up here, this chimney, and just a tiny bit of the tree here was all that it was done on this when I actually started it. And so, and this is a dimensions kit, as you can see. So I got it out, and I think I worked on this 3 or 4 days and that's where I got to. So I got that roof completed here, going down into the part of the house and out into that tree. And this is a slow to stitch on because this fabric is the fabric that came in the kit, and it's crunchy. So it's hard to push the needle in and out. And as I work with this, this will soften up, and as it does, it'll make it easier to stitch on it. But it's a wonderful stitch, and it's so pretty. The colors are just really, really nice. Okay, so that's the first one. And my non-full coverage whip that I spun the wheel from my older ones, I think I picked out 6 or 8 of the oldest non-full coverage whips. And Home Sweet Home came up, and I had been working on that around the last time that I had a video. So I will show you where I got to on this one. And I have to take it out of the Q-snap. I didn't, when I decided that I was going to do this video today, it's early afternoon, and I didn't prepare very well. I just up and decided I was going to do this, and I thought, well, if I take the time to pull everything out before I start, I probably will change my mind. So this is a back stitching thread up here, so just kind of ignore that. And here's where I got to. I worked on the down here. I finished that cat's tail, and I worked on the tablecloth down here going across. And I've got some more tablecloth to do here, and then go up and finish some of this stuff, and then I can go over to the other side. So that's where it's at now. I just need to keep plugging away at this as it comes up. Okay, so that's Home Sweet Home. That is a Design Works kit. It is on 14 count Aida. Okay, and then I'm going to show you Pandemic, and I'm just going to pull off this one part of the Q-snap here so that I can show you where I've gotten to. And I'm doing this on Wild Berry hand-dyed Aida and the 208 DMC 208 purple, and it's 14 count, and that's where I've gotten to. And you know, 208 is a much deeper shade of purple than this is coming up. It kind of, you know, blows it out. It makes it really light. That's where we're at with that one. And that's a fun stitch. And it's because it's on Pattern Keeper, I can just pick it up and just put in a few stitches here and there and not even have to think about it, because I don't have to check to see what color I need and all that. I've just all right there. Okay, now for the big one, Shades of Summer. I am going to get my needle minder off of there. Pardon me. And pull it out of the, I have done a lot of work on this. There have been some days where I have stitched 200 stitches and no less than 150, to my knowledge. And I've stitched on it every day, so you know there's going to be progress. And I am just thrilled to death with this, because it is really coming along. And just let me get it straightened out here a little bit for you. Pull this, fold that margin at the top down, and here we go. What do you think? Isn't it a beauty? And I don't necessarily mean my stitching. I mean that picture. Now I'm going to come in and show you where I've been working. If I can get it folded over here enough. Okay, I worked up in here. I came down. I think the last time you saw it, there was just this part of that bridge rail. Now you can see there's more here, and this one is filling in there. And I don't know if this time I worked it down. I had been working down there at that bottom, and I may have filled in more down there before I went. Yeah, I think I did since the last video. Down in this part down in here. And so I'm just going to keep going, but don't you just love it? This is going to be such a beautiful addition on my wall when it gets finished. I just, I can't wait. And going at the rate that I'm going, I have figured out that barring any unforeseen calamities, I can have this done by the end of October, easily. And if I really pushed myself, I could have it done before that. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to burn out and then find it's the end of the year and it's still not finished. So I'm just going to keep the slow and steady going with it. I had never really thought about when you work on something every day for a certain number of stitches that, you'd be seeing so much progress. And I wasn't stitching that way. I was pulling out a whip here and working on it for a day and putting that one away and pulling out another one, working on it 1 or 2 days. And I wasn't liking that. And I knew that I had to come up with something a little bit different to keep me going and, I don't know, just to keep the motivation up. And I think that what I'm doing right now is working. So I hope all of your stitching is going well too, if you're a stitcher. And if you do something else like crochet or quilting or whatever, I hope that's going well for you. I kind of put my crochet away now until fall. I just wasn't feeling it. And if I'm going to put as much time in on the cross stitch as I am right now, the crochet just kind of needed to take a back seat. It'll come out again. Okay, now, I know I wanted to show you this. I watched Cheryl McKinney, Tranquil Stitches. I think that's what it is, Tranquil Stitches. She's from West Virginia. And she showed this case on her video. I'm not sure which video it was. And I believe she said she got it at Amazon. And I looked at it and I thought, you know what, that looks like it would be something that's nice. But I didn't, think about it too much. But then I got an ad on my phone from Michaels, and they were having a storage sale. And they showed these for on sale, regular price $41.99, on sale for $14.99. Now, I don't know how much Cheryl paid for hers, but $14.99 was a price that I couldn't pass up. And I thought that it would be handy to put upstairs on my craft table so that I could corral some of the loose things around, but yet I would still be able to see them. So you see, you've got a big case here. It has a handle here to pick it up, and then this opens it, and inside you've got 16 of these little cases that open up. I haven't tried to open any of these yet. And so you can put little things in there, snap them back closed, And you can either put them back in the case or just pile them up if you're using them. But I thought it's a photo case to put photos in. But I thought it would just be perfect for corralling little things. And for instance, if I have some fancy floss that somebody gives me or something, I could put it in these cases and then I'd remember that I have it, because I don't normally buy too much fancy floss like Weeks or Gaster or any of those, and other little things too that I want to keep close at hand, and I could just pop it open, find what I want, and I just thought it was a perfect thing. In fact, I thought Bob might want one of these, but he looked at it and he said, nah. But it's called Large Photo and Craft Keeper. And 16 of those little things in here. I think that's what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 16. And for $14.99, when the regular price was $41.99, I thought that was a good deal. So I wanted to show you that. And I was at Michael's to pick that up and also get some more 208. I went to Hobby Lobby one day and bought all the 208 they had. Then that day I went to Michael's and I bought all the 208 they had. And then I think it was on that same day, Joann's is just down the road a ways, so I went down there and I bought all their 208. So I think I've cleaned out all the places in Sandusky of their 208. So now I'll have to wait a couple weeks and then start going and snatching it all up again so that I'll have enough to finish up Pandemic. I'm not going to use all that right away, but I would rather get it sooner rather than waiting until later, because you just never know what DMC might do with the color. I have an example of that right now in the threads that I have into Shades of Summer. One of them in there, the old one, is more of a gray. I forget which number it is, but it's more of a gray. And the newer one I bought is more of a greenish cast to it than the gray cast. So I've marked it that I'm using, I put the gray in the front of the little snack bag, and I put the greener one behind, and I made a note in there because I need it for my Haid Victorian, what was that, Victorian Garden or something. So I'm using the newer one on the Victorian Garden and the older one on Shades of Summer, and hopefully I'll have enough to finish out Shades of Summer using the grayer one. Okay, let's see, what else is going on? I went to the doctor today, the rheumatologist. He told me to keep doing what I'm doing. I think he would have liked me to be a little lower on the prednisone by now, but I'm down to 26 milligrams, and he said that's fine, because I told him that at one point I had to go up a little bit because I was feeling some pain in my arm. And so he said, just keep doing what I'm doing, and he answered all my questions, and I have to go back in 8 weeks. So we'll see where I'm at then. And it's going to be a continual, I need to continually keep dropping my prednisone dosage that I'm taking over the next, months, until, he said, till I get down to around 15. And then he'll have me not drop as often. It'll be a much slower, because then at that point he will figure that I'm going to be on it for a long, long time. He said by the time I get down to about 15 milligrams, my side effects and stuff that I'm having from it will lessen. He said there are more now at this higher level, but they'll lessen as it goes down. So I'm looking forward to that. The worst part for me is the sweating. Oh my goodness, it's like hot flashes multiplied by 1,000. It just seems like every time I walk into anywhere where there's humidity, I walk outside where there's heat, anything like that, I immediately start sweating. And it just, but it is what it is. We get by. And I'm working on changing my diet. I just started reading another book last night called Inflammation Nation. And it's all about the food we eat and how foods have become inflammatory that didn't used to be inflammatory because of things that are being done to them in the food chain. So, and a lot of other information about inflammation. So I'm finding that kind of interesting. So I'm continually tweaking at my diet, and so far they say that you gain a lot of weight with prednisone, and so far I haven't. My weight has stayed pretty steady within 1 or 2 pounds up or down, and so that's good. So apparently some of the changes that I'm making are helping with that. And maybe eventually, as I keep tweaking my diet and get used to eating some of the foods that, like more vegetables, maybe I'll actually even go down a little bit. We'll see. That's not my goal, but we'll see what happens. Oh, and let's see, what else? Bob is having more difficulty with his speech. It's getting harder and harder for me to understand him. And up to this point, I could understand him. It was other people who couldn't. But it's getting more difficult, and his volume is reduced also. There's almost like a hoarseness to his voice. And so I don't know what's going to happen with that. We'll just have to wait and see. He's already went to speech therapy, and he said he didn't want to go back for that. So we'll see. He's had a few periods of time where he was falling down over and over throughout the day. And when I threatened him with the walker, I think he must have slowed down a little bit because he hasn't fallen so much since then. He does not want to use that walker. He does use the cane when we go out. He keeps the cane in the truck, and he keeps the cane in the Equinox. And whenever he gets out to go into a restaurant or a store or anything, he uses the cane. So that's good. It took me a long time to get to that point. So I'm not going to push the walker quite yet, as long as he doesn't continue to fall. Let's see, what else is going on? I haven't really talked to Lori or my brother. I haven't, a lot of days I just don't feel that well, and so I don't go anywhere, and I just sit here and stitch, and I don't do much of anything. And she had mentioned something about getting together to go out, but COVID really took off again in Ohio, and we've got a statewide governor mandated you have to wear a mask. It used to be that just, the stores would have a sign up, that they wanted you to wear a mask, but now it's state law. It's mandated by the governor that you have to wear a mask when you are around other people or in a store or a restaurant. And Bob and I have continued to go out to eat a few times, and basically what we do is we wear our mask into the restaurant. When we're seated, then we take them off. And because you can't eat with the mask on, of course. And then when we are ready to leave, we put the mask back on as we go to pay and to leave. So, but I'm not wanting to go out quite as much because I'm just I just want to be careful. I'm on enough. Once I get down on the prednisone, so I'm below 15 or 20, then I won't be so immune suppressed. But right now, being at 26, I could catch something and it not be good. It could turn into something that it's not supposed to. So I just want to be a little more careful. And I think I had mentioned something to you guys about the girl that comes and cleans and helps Bob outside with trimming and stuff like that, that she thought she had gotten exposed. She was able to get the test and it came back negative. And so she sent me by text message a copy of the thing saying that she tested negative. And so she came that next Thursday. So she missed 1 week. And she would have come today, but I really didn't have that much. The house isn't too bad, and the trimming is still okay and stuff, and Bob didn't really have too much for her. And I had my doctor's appointment today. So I told her we'd skip today, and she's going to come next Thursday. And by that time, I'm sure we'll both have plenty for her to do. And let's see. And the last time she was here, she wore her mask the whole time that she was in the house. I know a couple of you had mentioned that she should wear her mask when she's here, and she is doing that. And I know that there are some comments that I haven't got to yet, and I apologize. Every time I sit down at the computer to try and do something on the computer, I get like this. It's from the prednisone. It affects it's like a brain fog type of thing. And I can only do a little bit, and then I just have to get away from the computer. That, and I get these headaches on the very top of my head. And that's prednisone too. And the doctor told me they're nothing to worry about. It's just, again, when I get down to the lower dosage, those things will, if not totally go away, they won't be as bad. So I'm looking forward to that. Another problem is thinning hair. You start losing your hair, and you can tell. I have, I'm getting kind of thin up there. And my hair, it's because there's no color on it anymore. It just falls forward. That's why it's all plumped here. I can't do much of anything with it. And I even put a curling iron in it today to try to puff it up a little bit, but it just sits there flat on my head. And then I got this looking like Buster Brown here on the side. So I think next time I'm going to tell her to cut these sides up, maybe up around the ear a little bit, so that I don't have this stuff. Because this here is all gray and it's fuzzy. Any of you have that gray hair that it's fuzzy? It's almost like I don't even know how to explain it. I've always had fine, thin hair, and it just laid straight. This stuff is not straight. It just kind of kicks out just wherever it wants to go, and I don't like that. Sometimes I just put it behind my ears, and then I don't have to worry about it. Okay, I'm rambling on. I am rambling on. Let me see. What else was I going to say? I didn't want my video to be too short. I don't like it to be too long. But some of you said you like to hear me talk, so I can't imagine. My husband wishes I would be quiet sometimes. But I'm trying to read a book, that Inflammation Nation, and I also have a fiction book I'm trying to read. It's a Mitch, I think it's Album is his last name. It's good. I've read some of his books before. And basically just trying to get some. Oh, I did go up. We bought another portable air conditioning unit so that I could have something in my craft room, because it's just hotter than get out up there. And so we got this, we went to Lowe's and we got a really nice, oh, I've got a lot of fruit in the house. So I've got those little fruit flies everywhere and they're driving me nuts. I hung up a fly catcher thing, those sticky things today, hoping that maybe some of those fruit flies will go fly into it and stay there. But anyways, we got this portable air conditioner, and they're great because you don't have to lift a heavy unit up into a window and try to get it fitted in there. You just set it in the room, and you have like a little expandable thing that you set in the window, bring the window down on it. It exhausts out the window that way. And the newer one, we actually put that in the bedroom because it's newer, it's nicer. It actually shuts itself off when it reaches the temperature you set. So that's good for at night. So I put that one in there, and the old one that runs all the time, it just has a compressor unit in it that shuts on and off, but the fan runs constantly. I put that one in the in that craft room, and I went up there and I actually got some stuff cleaned up, rearranged a little bit, so I was able to go in there today, and I got a couple of projects kitted up. I kitted up an ornament, Christmas ornament, and I kitted up a remember that blackberry that I did, that really, really old pattern? Well, there was a strawberry too. So I kitted up the strawberry and got the fabric and everything in there. And so those are ready to start. So I can just pick those up one day and start stitching on those. So those will be 2 small projects. And I also need to make some masks, because since we need to be wearing them all the time, I need to get some made and over to my daughter and for her and the girls. And actually Bob needs another one, and it wouldn't hurt to have a few extras. So gonna start working on that now that I can get up there in that room and actually do something. So I felt very good yesterday because I had made some progress up there, and I could actually see the table and have a place to actually put some things out and do some work. What a good feeling that is. Okay, I think I've chattered on long enough, so I'm going to let you guys all go, and I am going to wish you all well. I hope nobody gets sick with COVID. Hope nobody in your family does. I hope this starts settling down soon, and I hope all this unrest in the country settles down. It's just kind of surreal when you think about it. But I saw somebody post something on Instagram. I think it was Gina, hanging with a thread, Gina, or hanging by a thread, Gina. But something about that 2020 has outdone the blizzard of 78 now. So I thought that was a little bit funny. I don't know. Blizzard of 78 was pretty bad. So, but it didn't last as long. That's probably the thing. It didn't last as long. So I'm going to, again, love and hugs to everybody. Take care. And I will get to those comments, I promise. And please leave new ones. I really enjoy them. You guys leave me such good comments, and I always look forward to reading them. And they've all been read. I just haven't had a chance to go in there and reply or something like that. So, okay, that's it. Take care, and I will see you again real soon. Bye-bye, everybody.